see. Wow, we got a lot of people on the phones here. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, let's take this one. Calling from a 289 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, is that me that you've got there?
I think it is. Are you?
Oh, fantastic.
All right.
I am me. I'm pretty sure. I think so. It's a tautology, right? How are you doing, Sam?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm actually calling from Canada, from Guelph. What I wanted to ask you about was actually animal ethics. I've debated a good few people on this, like your good friend Stefan Molyneux, and some other people on more like your side, Destiny, Vosh, people like that. I wanted to ask about your stance for a minute, if that's okay.
Sure.
Cool. So obviously, if we were to replace the animals that are being farmed right now with humans, you'd deem that situation to be morally unacceptable, right?
If human beings were being raised for food?
Yeah, if we just replace all the animals currently being farmed with humans.
Right. Yes, I think I would find that unacceptable.
Okay. Now, if we are doing it with animals, though, you take it to be acceptable?
I think that's where our society's at. I mean, I personally, try and avoid factory farmed animals, but and I see it as problematic. I don't see it as a top priority in terms of like at least what I want to do professionally in terms of politics.
I could ask it like this. Do you think that it's morally acceptable to buy those products?
Do I think it's morally acceptable? I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Wait, but you're not vegan. You do buy the products, right?
Well, when I eat meat, I try and do non-factory farmed meat.
Okay, but you still buy the meat, correct?
Oh yeah, I am not vegan.
Right. Okay. So, but the point here would be, if it's animals, you wouldn't say it's okay to buy, 90. If it's humans, you wouldn't say it's okay to buy, mostly free-range human, just a tiny bit of factory.
Absolutely right. That's correct. I do not believe that we should. I have less of a problem with eating animals than I do with humans.
Okay, so this is where I'm going with it, right? If in the animal context it's okay to, buy the family farmed animals and occasionally the factory farmed animals, but in the human context, neither are okay.
Right.
I'm wondering, what is it? Pardon me?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm just wondering, what is it that's true of the animals that, if true of the humans, would cause you to say that is acceptable? So that's the gotcha question.
I mean, I think for me, honestly, it's watching animals kill each other in the wild, and there not being any sort of determination that it's wrong by the animals. I mean, in all honesty, I don't feel, I don't have a sort of like clear, strongly held beliefs in these areas. But I mean, if you're asking in passing, I would say the thing that I think allows me to not prioritize it, although I think that there's certainly a decent argument to prioritize it. I think the thing for me is watching animals in the wild kill each other, and them not appearing to organize around it and determine that it's wrong.
Okay, so you would say that the thing that makes the moral difference, that makes it such that you'd say in the human context,
you're using moral difference. I don't know if I think it's moral or immoral. I'm not really thinking about it in those terms. But
in the human case, sorry to cut you off. In the human case, you say it's immoral, though, right?
Well, we've certainly decided as a society that killing is wrong.
I'm not asking society. I'm asking you.
Okay. Well, I live in society. And I live in a society where we've decided that it's wrong. And I don't know if I didn't live in a society and I was, living on the land and, let me put it this way. If we have some type of, nuclear event or we're living in some type of, so-called post-apocalyptic world, I don't know that I would think it would be wrong to kill humans.
Right, but what I asked was what makes the moral difference between the two situations.
And I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I just don't, I don't think about it in terms of morality. I'm giving you the most honest answer I can.
You think don't you say it's morally wrong in the human context? That sounds like thinking in terms of morality. If you say you don't think it's morally wrong to, just Holocaust people, then okay, but I take it that's not your view.
Well, look, you want me to keep saying moral because that's what's helpful for your argument, and I don't know if you want...
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Sorry, you just cut out. Can
you want me to keep saying moral because that's the way that you look at it. I'm telling you that...
Do you look at it... if it's something other than moral, then we can talk about that. Do you not look at killing humans as a moral issue? The Holocaust of humans for food, that wouldn't be a moral issue on your view?
I just think that it's... I don't know that it's like... I don't know...
Well, it's a straightforward question, not to be rude. Is that a moral issue or not?
What is morality? Explain that to me. What's your vision of morality?
I'm a subjectivist. I just take morality to be about our preferences.
It is against my preference. It is against my preference. Let me put it this way. I'm going to use your term. It is against my preference that we kill human beings because, and I'll tell you why, because I think it's the only way for humans to survive is to not kill each other. And I think it is, at the very least, it is the start of being nicer to everything if we don't kill human beings because we relate to human beings the most. So,
so if we want
that's my preference.
Replace the word
as to why it is not to my, a high priority of my preference. It would be my preference.
Well, that's not quite what I'm asking.
Well, no. Listen, I know what you're asking. Okay. And I'm telling you that my answer does not fit into the narrow confines of what you want. I'm giving you my honest answer. Well, you asked me why it's not as important to me that animals, that people eat animals.
I didn't say not as important. That's not what I asked.
You said moral. You just described moral as preference. Now I'm telling you. Go ahead. What's going on? Hold on. Your phone is breaking up. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I asked you what's true of the one that, if true of the other, would cause you to have the same evaluation.
I've told you.
And just to clear up the morality thing, do you not use the language of morality at all? Because in my view, it's like if you're not using it in the case of holocausting humans, then, I can't see where else you possibly use it, right? Do you just not use moral language? I'm happy to move to subjectivist kind of preference language. That's fine. That's actually the language
I tend not to use moral language. That is correct. At least in the context of this show.
Not to do... Sure. So not to do a big philosophy derail, but you're some kind of subjectivist, you think morality
I don't know what that means, so I can't answer that question.
Okay, well, I'll just ask with the word preference, right? So it is in line with your preference for us to support the Holocaust of animals to some degree, family farming with some degree of factory farming. But it is not in line with your preference to support the Holocaust of humans, some amount of factory farming and some amount of family farming of humans. So I'm asking,
correct.
What is it that's true of animals that, if true of humans, would cause you to say that is in line with your preferences?
If human beings went around killing each other without deciding as societies that it's wrong, my ideas would change.
Okay, I understand your answer. Now, the response to that answer would be to say, okay, so if everyone else was just killing each other, do you right now take the view that in that world it would just be ethical to Holocaust people and eat them?
To Holocaust people and
eat them, yes.
If everybody was killing each other?
From your view, don't answer from their view. I'm asking if you would evaluate it to be appropriate so long as others are killing each other.
Maybe. It's a hard hypothetical for me to put myself into right now, but maybe. I'm open to it. Let's put it that way.
Well, okay, wait. So just to be clear, your view, and I don't want any equivocation here. I'm not asking if your preference.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to equivocate on your hypothetical about everybody going around killing each other.
I wasn't wasn't necessarily accusing you of equivocating. I just want to make sure that there isn't an equivocation, right?
Well, I'm telling you, I'm going to reserve my right to equivocate because I don't. I need to know more details about this post-apocalyptic world that you're talking about. That I'm also able to organize a factory farm when everybody's going around killing each other.
Okay, what do you think the equivocation is that I'm referring to?
I don't know. You're just saying I don't want you to equivocate, and I'm telling you I can equivocate. You're not my dad.
You're kind of trying to derail with humor, though, because I've got you in a bit of a corner, right?
No, you don't.
So the equivocation that I'm worried about, right?
Yeah.
The equivocation is I'm not asking what your preference inside of the hypothetical would be. I'm asking for you right now, in your perspective, to evaluate the hypothetical. I'll walk you through the reasoning you gave, right? So we took the two situations, the human and animal holocaust.
Dude, I don't need a hypothetical. I just told you why I have less of an issue with eating animals than I do humans.
Wait. You said the thing that makes the moral difference is whether the
No, you said the thing that makes the moral difference. You said the thing that makes the moral difference.
Okay, then we can remove the word moral if that's what you're complaining about.
Right. The thing that makes the difference to me is that I watch animals kill each other.
Right. So what I'm doing is I'm applying that in the human context and asking if you then evaluate it to be ethical. If you say no, it's a contradiction.
Yes, I answered your question. I answered it.
Sam, you have to understand, when you yell, I actually can't hear. It maxes out my phone, please.
Oh. In which case, I'm going to turn up my volume because I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm going to say this quietly, okay?
Sure.
If
go ahead.
We lived in a world where there were no societal norms about killing other human beings and eating them, okay, which I have noticed in the animal kingdom, including like my cats.
You cut out. You have what in the animal? Sorry, you cut out. You have what in the animal kingdom?
Doesn't work.
I think he's trying to just get a sound bit that he can isolate and then post somewhere.
Okay. So I just to be clear, it sounds like you're getting fed up with the call, so I don't want to take up all your time if you want to go. But I just want to be clear about what the question is, right? So I was just asking, what is it that's true of the animal Holocaust that, if true of the human Holocaust, would cause it to be morally justified on your view? You said the factor that would make that difference, right? And morality can just cash out in preferences. That's fine. You said the factor that would make the difference is if the other members of the species are killing each other and not caring about it. Now, I put the reductio to you.
And eating each other.
Let me complete the thought.
And eating each other.
Let me complete the thought. Oh, and eating. Okay, yeah. So if other humans are killing and eating each other and don't care about it, would you actually evaluate it to be ethical to Holocaust people? And your answer to that is yes or no. You can laugh at it all you want, but
I'm going to. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for giving me the permission to laugh.
Can you actually get around the case, though? What's your reply to that? Is it ethical or not?
Is it ethical? I think if society...
Is it in line with your preferences? That's what we're taking ethical to mean.
If society has found it to be non-problematic to go around and kill human beings and eat them, then would I perceive it as problematic that we were doing it in a factory style as opposed to just random killing?
But keep in mind, I'm asking you right now. I'm not asking if hypothetically you and the hypothetical would have determined preferences that are different, right? I'm not asking in that world would your mind be shaped differently. I'm asking right now, you in this world, do you look at a hypothetical world where humans are killing and eating each other?
It would be my preference.
In line with your preference.
It would be my preference. This is going to be my final thing that I'm saying because I think this is honestly silly.
Sure. I don't think it's silly at all. I think.
Well, I know you don't, and that's why when you have a show, I'll call in if I have the time and talk to you about it. But this is my show.
I'd love that.
What? Yeah, I'm sure. But this is my show. I find the question silly. But I will end it on this.
Okay, well,
I will end it on this. I will end it on this.
Sure. All right. Let's hear it.
As I stand today, living in a world where human society has deemed it wrong to kill each other, I also think it's impractical to kill each other. And society has broadly made the decision that we should not be doing this.
This is not answering the question. I'm not trying to be rude, but you're dodging the question.
All right.
Do you evaluate the Holocaust happening in that hypothetical to be ethical?
Now, listen, I had to hang up on you because you won't let me finish because I'm not answering it exactly as you want me to. But you are asking me to use my mind as it exists today in a world where we do have societal norms about killing other humans and eating them, and saying, use that mind, project yourself into an era where none of that exists, where people go around killing each other when they see him. I see Matt walk into my office. I don't even recognize Matt as like anything other than dinner. And I go and I kill him and I eat him. Now, but with my mind as it exists now, I need to project into that life that exists then, and then say, would I have a problem with factory farming of human beings eating? And I would say, if I have today's mind in that scenario, yes, I would have a problem with that. Because, and then I would say, like, how did I get here? How come this is completely oblivious to me? I mean, how come, like, I can't understand any of the norms that are going on? But if I was to adopt the mindset where I see Matt and I think, well, all right, not say not Matt, because Matt is actually bigger, like taller, and I think that would intimidate me on some level in terms of whether I could go eat him. But if Brendan came in, I might think, I could eat Brendan. And, like I don't even know how much conscious thought I would have. Like, I've seen my cats go and kill animals.
Yeah, I'd be against factory cannibalism myself. I want my cannibalism done sort of like farm to table.
Yeah, Soylent Green is no good.
I mean, look, I think it's quite possible that society will evolve to such a place where the perception of the idea that we would eat animals would be like we looked upon slavery. I think that's conceivable to me. I mean, I certainly hope that society evolves in that way. I was raised eating meat. I have at times tried to stop eating meat totally. I've certainly cut down on it. Like ever since I got introduced to the Impossible Burger, I have not eaten a hamburger. I basically cut out red meat, in part for health reasons, but in part for like, I just, what it does to the planet. I mean, I don't necessarily, I'm not going to lie, I don't have a huge, like, I don't spend that much time thinking about how many cows or sheep or pigs that we slaughter. I have been very sort of like, I'm not going to say I've been intimate with pigs, but I've been like, friendly with pigs and visited pigs every day. And I know that their owners, their plan was in October to slaughter them and put them in the freezer for the rest of, and then eat them over the course of the winter. That's just what it is. And that issue is just not the most prominent issue to me. I think that ultimately we need to get there for the health of the planet and for, I think it's more evolved of I think it's like, the ideas that we, have organized our society into in terms of not killing other human beings and eating them. I think we can carry over to other living things. I don't know where that stops. I mean, like, I don't know how sentient plants are. I definitely think that like pigs are more sentient than like cows, or I don't know, or just have more intellectual capacity. But I wonder, like, is that a fair way of assessing these things? I don't know. I mean, is it? I mean, that can't be the solution, right? It can't be that pigs have more awareness of things than, I don't know, a frog. And that's the determination as to where you draw the line. I mean, do people not kill ants too? Like, I don't know. Like, I think, being a human being is always about compromises and about priorities. And people choose which things they want to prioritize. And then other human beings make assessment of their, are these people good or not good people? And that's the way it works. I just, I'm sure I use moral language in some instances, but I try and avoid it as much as possible. Just because, I don't know. I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit more like Thanos.
Yeah.
Or wait, who is...
Yeah, you're Thanos. You're more concerned with sort of overall politics and individual morality, I think.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think we should cut down on that farming. And then I think we should, part of it is a function of like, it's a Republican proposal to sort of like open up, Nixon's Commerce Secretary wanted more disposable income in people's hands. So we subsidized corn, and then we created essentially factory farming in that respect. And so there it is. But boy, is it annoying when people are just like determined, like, I'm going to set up this specific hypothetical for you.
I've thought through all the different routes.
And you cannot, in the hypothetical, you cannot project how you will react to a society. It has to be as if you just zoomed into that hypothetical with today's thinking in that hypothetical. So it's not enough that I give you the hypothetical. I now also want to give you a hypothetical about as to who you will be in the context of that hypothetical. I don't know what we were debating. Factory farming, I think, is bad. Do I think it would be nicer if I was a human being? Would I rather be in a factory before I got killed versus like living a nice life and then one day I just show up and somebody takes my head off? Probably the latter. I don't know that I would want either, frankly. In fact, I know I wouldn't.
You've dug yourself a bit of a hole here, Sam.
Right.
He's backed you there to a bit of a corner.
It's true. Hey, speaking about, this is pretty stunning. Here's Michael.